Hey everybody, welcome back to What's for Dinner. It's almost 4 o'clock on, what is today, Monday?
Yes.
Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. So what do we have going on tonight for dinner, hon?
Well, I just put 2 corned beef briskets in the crock pot this morning, about 10.
Okay.
So that's one of them, and the other one's still in there.
Okay, gotcha. That looks really good. Smells good anyway, too.
Yeah.
All right, and what are you cooking that in? Is it butter?
Butter.
Okay, butter and then just its own fluids, kind of,
Yeah.
the water coming out of it?
Yeah.
All right. And then?
And then we had leftover cabbage from yesterday, Sunday. We didn't do what's for dinner.
Yeah. So you cook that in butter also, and then don't you put like bacon and eggs and all that in there?
Yeah, bacon grease and onions and fresh pressed garlic.
Yum.
Yeah.
And then cauliflower mash. Yum.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about this.
So this is a large head of cauliflower from Sam's, and then 2 sticks of cream cheese. While the cauliflower is boiling, I kind of melt and soften the cream cheese in the microwave, and then I add 2 heaping scoops of this of sour cream, and then shredded cheese. Mix it all around. Oh, after I drain the cauliflower and mash it, I put it in there, mix it all around, and then I layer it again with onion, cheese, and bacon.
Yum.
And then I just baked it for an hour at 350.
And just so all you guys know, the key to this is to boil it for an extra long time so it's super soft. So when you mash it, it's like really mashed, just like potatoes would be mashed potatoes. So.
Yes.
All right, well, will any of this food that we've prepared tonight cause our blood sugar or insulin to spike, and why is that important?
It will not, and it's important if you want to manage your health. If you are in the corporate medical system, it is sick care, it is not health care. And they are not interested in keeping you healthy, they are interested in treating you once you become sick. So if you want to prevent all of that, you've got to keep your sugar low, your inflammation low, the seed oil consumption, industrial seed oil low, sleep good, stress low, which sometimes stress situationally, there's sometimes nothing you can do about it. Like night shift, firefighters, they can't do anything about being a night shift worker. So you need to try to make sure everything else is pretty much on target. So.
Yeah, because a lot of these things also we were talking about, especially like the sleep and the stress causes issues with cortisol.
Yes.
And cortisol will affect your insulin and your blood sugar as well. So high cortisol levels. I had an issue with that with sleeping at night when I was fasting too much. Sometimes I would fast for very long periods of time, and then I was also working out really hard. And I can tell when I fast because I wake up at about 3 a.m. My cortisol just shoots through the roof. It wakes me up out of bed about 3 o'clock, and I'm ready to go run a marathon. Well, if I ran marathons, I don't do that. But
well, that's interesting to say too, because I think a lot of people, including us when we were younger, did too much cardio. And cardio, all it does is send cortisol off the charts, which makes you gain weight, dampens down all your hormones, and causes problems. So if you like to run, we used to, I say it because I have hurt things now later in life, but if you like to run, fine, but your health is coming from and your weight loss is coming from the kitchen and weight resistance or resistance training. That's where you're going to build bone and keep muscle mass. Skeletal muscle mass improves metabolism and all the things that is important.
yeah, we talked about that a lot in other what's for dinners that we've done. So.
But if you're just going to run and do this treadmill, you're going to just be skinny fat. You're not going to have any tone, muscle tone, and that's what you want. That's the key to health.
Yeah.
When we start to get sarcopenic, which means lose muscle mass, if you look around the little old ladies and the little old men, though they are sarcopenic, and that means they have no muscle mass, and then health declines.
That starts to happen at about 30 years old and older. It's really important once you turn 30 especially to start doing some sort of resistance training.
Yeah.
Anyway, that also leads us into the difference between like training and working out versus activity.
Right.
So a lot of people, and listen, I love to walk.
Yeah.
I walk about 5 miles 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And I do it in the middle of the day when it's super hot, so I sweat a whole bunch. I get tanned, so I'm getting my vitamin D. I'm coated with sweat. I feel like I did a lot, but I don't count on that for increased muscle mass. I don't count on that for fitness. I don't count on that for my bone health and whatnot. I do sprints on the other couple days a week that I work out, and that I do count on for those other things that I mentioned.
It's hard for you guys to understand that sprinting is resistance training. We get questions all the time, but sprinting, running sprints or on the rower, is a resistance training workout.
Total body sprints are running sprints is a total body resistance training workout. So it's like going to the gym, and all you got to do is look at Olympic sprinters. You can see they're just built like beasts.
Yeah.
And then Sprinting on the rowing, I created a new sport.
Yeah.
Sprinting on the rowing machine is good for, I think it's like 90 or 95% of your muscle groups.
Yeah.
Resistance training. So it's pretty close too. But anyway, so you had something on your mind you wanted to talk about tonight.
Oh, I was just going to talk more about this hormones and stuff. So I don't even know where to start because I just, so many stories, but just make sure you're with a provider that understands the nuances of hormones. I just remember seeing the first patient I ever saw when I was in my practice, like Teresa Mealy, Total Health and Wellness, the very first patient ever, about 5 years later, because she's still with me. And that started in 2015 or 16. Mm-hmm. She went to one of the GYNs in town. There's kids walking in, so don't pay any attention to them.
Yeah.
And she told her, this GYN at Mercy, how much testosterone she was on. And the physician said, that is a really high dose. And my patient's been with me so long that she says, really? Because my lab level that she checks every 3 months is not very good. And the physician had nothing to say about that because it is not standard of care in corporate medicine to check labs if you are to get hormones from them. So what GYNs will do, and I say, this is me ad-libbing it, if women complain long enough and loud enough, they'll give you a little piddly amount of estrogen. They don't know about progesterone. Okay, this GYN does, but most of them don't. So they give you a little piddly dose of estrogen. It takes care of your dry vagina for the most part, hot flashes and night sweats. They never check a level and you're good to go because you're not complaining about hot flashes, night sweats, dry vagina. But you're not building bone. There's levels that we want of each hormone to do what it's designed to do, like build bone and reverse osteoporosis, prevent heart disease, prevent dementia, protect the breast, all that. So all that to say, you can get hormones, but are you really getting hormones?
Yeah, when you told me that tonight, I was kind of blown away a little bit by it's not standard of care to do these labs regularly. Like
Yeah.
you do labs on most of your patients about every 3 months to maintain, or so you can check and see where these levels are going, make the adjustments to those levels and whatnot, or make adjustments to the prescriptions
Yeah.
to get the levels where you want them. And but so to hear you say that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, oh yeah, well that makes sense now because so many of your patients will come in and they'll come from another provider's office and they'll be like, yeah, I went in and I asked for this lab or this lab or this lab and they won't do it. And it's like, oh, well, that's why they're not doing it because they don't want to do it.
Right. They think stuff like this is fringe, or you say, I need hormones, and the GYN say you're too young to have hormone problems, or they do hormone labs, and you're like, oh, good. And then they tell you everything's normal. All they did was an FSH level, which is a follicle stimulating hormone, to tell you if you're in menopause or not. And then it's like, well, you don't need anything, you're not in menopause. All that means, not in menopause, means you don't need estrogen. But what about testosterone and progesterone? I hope no one has me live without either of those. And then thyroid optimization. So we don't care about normal levels. It is normal. When I started hormones at 42 and I just turned 53, my progesterone level was less than 0.5. And my testosterone free was less than 0.2. Remember from 3rd grade, you can only round those down. You can't go up with those. And it was normal. It didn't flag as low on the lab report. It was normal.
For your age.
Right.
Yep. But in the meantime, you feel terrible.
Gagged me. I couldn't hardly get out of bed.
Right.
All that. So.
Oh, trust me, I was living with you. I remember.
It was bad. It's hard.
Yeah, it's
It's hard to feel like that and then be like, yeah, let's have sex and go for a hike and take the kids to the beach and like.
Yeah.
No.
Good stuff.
So anyway.
All right.
That's that.
Good. Well, we're at about 9 minutes, so I think this is a good time to cut out right here. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No.
All right, guys. Well, we love you all.
Yes.
Tell us what you're having for dinner, and if you have any questions, shoot them our way.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.